G'day everyone, welcome to PBHQ Live. This is episode number 344. It is May 1st and we were looking forward to having a big weekend of paintball here in Australia with a bunch of events happening, but I've got some updates on some of those that have cancelled, some that have changed. But there is still events happening. We've got the Thailand Xball League, which featuring a couple of Australian teams coming up. We've got the Super 7s M's division coming up, and the Super 7s just coming up over the next couple of weeks, including their layout drop tonight here on the show. So there is still plenty happening. But yeah, definitely some updates on the events that were originally scheduled. On what was looking like it was going to be a massive weekend, it's definitely dropped back a little bit. If you are joining in the show nice and early, I always appreciate if you drop a comment and let me know who you are and where you are. Here on YouTube, you can hit the little thumbs up button. And if you are watching for the first time, or if you're watching for the 344th time, and you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, well, you can do that too. Hit the subscribe button. Alex from PPG Anomaly is in. He's in Thailand currently. He will be playing over there this week. Brad Short from Wicked Assassins is in. Susan is in. Eden from Bon Voyage is in Victoria, and he sent me a message earlier today trying to get the team up and running again down there. So if you know of anyone in and around Melbourne that's looking to play speedball or competitive paintball and find their way into the game, well, Eden is looking to get some new players into the game with his team. John O'Collins is in. Jordan Bradshaw is in. Jordan is saying, hey all, the new field for Super 7s is good. Oh, well, good. We're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. Christian is in. Russell from New Zealand. Dan from PPG also joining in. So thanks for checking out the show. And of course, you can always hit the share button too. I didn't mention that earlier. That's probably the most important one. Sharing the word about PBHQ so other people get to check it all out. Quick mentions to start the show, paintballshop.com and Gladiator. I mentioned last week that there was some new Ether 3 colors on the way for paintballshop.com. Well, they're in stock now. So if you want to get an Ether 3, and if you are someone, like I mentioned with Eden, looking to get a team together down in Victoria, newer players, these Ether 3s, they have most of the stuff that you would expect in a high-end gun at a lower-end price, really rugged design, good bit of gear. We use them as upgrade guns here at the field locally. Obviously, you're not going to get the LED screens and the super high-end features, but you've got a quick release bolt with an ultra reliable bolt system or drivetrain, quick release battery, pops ASA on these things. Most of the things that you would want in a tournament gun, you can tourney lock it, set it to 10.5 or 12.5 or 15, whatever the tournament is that you're playing, and it will get the job done for you. And they're now available. They're typically only available in just the all black, but you can now get these colorways as well as a couple of others that I showed on the show last week. So plenty of options if you're looking to get yourself into an Ether 3, which is a good bit of gear. So consider that. And for all of the players playing Super 7s over the next couple of weeks, Gladiator, the other major sponsor of this show, want you to stock up for the Super 7. So if someone on your team needs a new tank, if you need a new reg, if you need parts for one of your regs, whether that is a burst disc, a gauge, a fill nipple, any of the gear that you might need for the Super 7s over the next month, M, semi-pro and pro all coming up soon. You can get that. You can go to gladiator.com.au to find out where to get it. And of course, Paintball Shop, who I just mentioned as one of the major sponsors of the show, they also stock the full range of Gladiator gear if you're looking to get some. Connor from PB Athlete and Cartel Nation is just joining in at the moment, as is Craig from the Adelaide Bounty Hunters while packing his gear for this weekend. Yeah, Craig's flying out later in the week to go and play in the M's and hoping to back up from there. Showing at the first event. Connor saying the U77 is next level. Yeah, they were super popular. So many people asked for those because for the longest time it was the 68 or the 88. And the 88 was ultra popular. The 68 was popular, but that 77 just hit a sweet spot for a lot of players. And Jordan saying the new bunkers are bigger than you think. And a bit of news for anyone that has been keeping up with me and the field here at Wagga is we sold our existing bunker set off to Craig and the guys from the Adelaide Bounty Hunters just a couple of weeks ago. And our new field has left Sydney today, I believe. I spoke with Mike this morning, and it was scheduled to be picked up to be delivered to us. So we are getting the new 2023 bunker set here in Wagga, hopefully this week. Well, it should be. If it left today, or even if it leaves tomorrow, it should still get here this week. So new bunker set for here in Wagga. And I'm looking at putting on, because the NXL ACT events have cancelled for the year, I'm looking at somewhere around the end of June or early July to be running potentially a little 4-player event. I'm working on the format to keep the cost down, keep it fun, not too serious, much like the 3-mans that we run here. I just haven't nutted out all the finer details and confirmed the exact date that will be happening. But that is the plan at the moment. So with the NXL ACT out, I'm looking to sort of fill the gap for the Canberra-based teams, perhaps the Sydney guys, the Dubbo guys, the Melbourne guys that all like to travel here to Wagga for an event. I am working on something. If you're keeping up with what's happening here, that is the news. Luke saying, what color did we get? We got a blue HK set, I believe. That's the latest I knew. Such is my interest or disinterest in the bunker set that we have. When I was speaking with Mike, he at one point said that there was a blue HK Army field available, and I really don't care. As long as we've got the latest shapes, I don't care if they're pink, purple, brown, black, it doesn't matter. As long as they all blow up, hold air, and they're the correct shape, that's all that matters to me. Lachlan from PPG saying still looking for a few players for 7 semi-pro if anyone's keen to jump in with those guys. So if you're in Sydney, haven't played in a while, or don't have a team for this year and you want to play in the semi-pro division, there's an option for you. And Alex saying sad about the Canberra NXL, it was just coming back to life. Yeah, I totally agree. Mostly thanks to people like Alex, the guys based here in Wagga, Lachlan in Sydney. So like Lachlan, Alex, and the guys from here in Wagga, the Canberra Mafia guys, obviously the local team, but the guys all, the teams made that event happen. It was all team-based. It was team-driven. It's a shame that the teams couldn't continue to get that to happen, but that's just the way that things work out. Craig saying, I'm not going to take credit for the bunkers. Let's talk about the man who's done it, Richard Burian. Yeah, well, that's right. He's the one who worked out. I spoke with Richard over a couple of weeks and worked out a bit of a deal there. Connor said the one time I don't want something black. Yeah, well, bunkers, actually, as far as not caring about the colors, that is true. Black is probably the one color I wouldn't want your bunker set to be. I just imagine on a hot summer's day, packing them away would be just miserable. So yeah, that is true. But let's get on with the news from the weekend. Dynasty win. Again, at this point, it's almost becoming like a default reaction that Dynasty are going to win these events. They beat Heat in the finals in a match that went to overtime. I haven't watched it. I've only heard about it. Heard that it was a bit wild in the overtime point. But the big talking point out of this event for me, as someone who hasn't watched it all, I've only watched a couple of games on YouTube, the free games from Sunday morning in the wildcard bracket I got to watch. Dynasty, of which they were in the wildcard bracket, so they had to get there the hard way. But they have won 5 of the 6 the NXL majors. So there was a couple of minor events thrown in there that I believe they played 1 or maybe 2 of, which were blind field layouts, and not that they're less important, but they were minor events. Only 1 of the 2 scores from those events went towards the tally. I'm not sure if Dynasty had their best rosters at those events entirely. But so World Cup last year, they won 3 out of 4 last year, and they've won the first 2 to begin this year. So Dynasty are just on a streak at the moment. And this is a team that has guys like Greenspan and Fragi, Yosh Rao that are all either in their late 30s or early 40s. And then a handful of new guys, Harrison Fry there, a couple of other dudes that are just coming through. And Chris Shear is what the wheels just keep spinning for Dynasty. These guys just keep winning, keep showing up to events and doing their thing. I wanted to bring up the season standings for you. So at the top, Dynasty, of course, back-to-back wins. They are holding top rank in first position after 2 events. Obviously, Houston Heat, with a 2nd and a 6th are in 2nd. X Factor, ultra consistent, 5th and 4th. They're in 3rd, tied with, which is somewhat of a surprise to me, NYX, 4th at the Sunshine State Major, and then backed that up with a 5th at this event. Those guys are doing good things. So shout out to NYX for doing much better this year than they have in the past couple of years. And then the teams from 5 through 10, they're pretty much, or 5 through 9, I should say, are pretty much the teams that you would, I guess, expect to be there or thereabouts. The Hurricanes may be the exception, but they're definitely a team on the up. The teams that are probably the disappointments, in particular, teams 15 and 16 on this list, Baltimore Revo and Red Legion. Their teams, Ironmen have been a bit cold for a couple of years now, but Revo and the Russians, man, they're just on the slide at the moment. Chester Rochella joining in. Thanks for checking out the show, mate. I don't know why that is with the Ironmen. They've had a lot of roster changes over each year. It seems like their roster is just completely reworked. Revo and the Russians, though, and I know the Russians had a few dramas over 2020 and 2021 with COVID and getting their best team out to the events, but they've just really dropped off. Did you watch the event over the weekend? Let me know in the comments if you did watch the event, what you thought of it. Did you watch the final? I heard it was a bit crazy without having seen it myself. Maybe you have answers as to why Revo and the Russian Legion aren't as strong as they once were. I certainly don't, but hopefully they bounce back. They're such, particularly the Russians, such famous names in the paintball business that it's a shame to see them not playing on Sundays and not being as good as we are used to seeing them be. So that is an update for those guys. Quick update on the local guys playing in the NXL over in the US. The Manawatu Titans, they finished 15th with a 2-2 record in the prelims. So I think they went 1-3 at the first semi-pro event at the beginning of this year. This time around, they go 2-2 in the prelims and finish 15th. And if I duck back over to the standings graphic here, and if I can work my way around here quickly enough, you'll be able to see the semi-pro results. So Paintball Fit, much like Dynasty, and this is they were previously called or previously played as AC Dallas or AC Diesel. Those guys win both events. Blast Camp gets second at both events. Blast Camp were within a hair of going into the Pro Division last year. They just missed out on the spot to Austin Notorious. And then, yeah, so you see down here, 17th for Manawatu Titans at the first event, 15th this time around. And if I can go to scores, I wanted to just point something out if this will load for me. So semi-pro, where have I gone? Semi-pro Xball. Let me show you. So if you see this in their bracket here that they were in, and I'll highlight it and it looks terrible here for just a sec. But looking at this bracket, so the Royal City Sea Dogs were the first seed overall. Paintball Fit were the third seed after the prelims, who went on to win the event. And Colorado Blitz, 12th seed, went on to play. So those three teams all played in the semifinals at the same event. So in the prelims, the draw that the Manawatu Titans had, 3 of the top 4 teams from the event, of a total of 24 or 25 teams, 3 of the top 4 teams were in their bracket. So they lost to Colorado Blitz 6-1. They lost to Paintball Fit 5-1, but they beat Carolina Crisis. They beat Fearless, so the teams below them here. Hopefully the guys get a kinder draw next time around. They don't have to go through such, like, just a devastating bracket. For 3 of the top 4 teams to come from that one bracket is rare, I would say, and pretty incredible for the guys. So Connor saying Infamous played well. Interesting that Revo aren't doing well, as I believe they've got a cash injection this year. And Titans had a rough bracket. Yep, absolutely. The semi-pro division is nuts. I have heard from people in the US, and I'm only taking this on hearsay, that the semi-pro division, the guys are out training harder, training more often. The competition is just wild in that division, and that's good. That feeds into a strong pro division in time. I still think that 20 pro teams is too many. I would love to see that reduced to like 12 or 14. Maybe say 15 even, just as an initial thing to do, where you could have 3 pools of 5 teams playing 4 prelims. because the standard of the lowest ranked pro teams is just not quite there at the moment. I think if those lowest ranked pro teams found themselves in the semi-pro, they'd probably find themselves losing matches down there too. So that is how it stands at the moment. Hopefully the guys from Manawatu Titans get a kind of draw next time and can make their way on to Sunday. And I think I seen on someone's Instagram story over the weekend that Brandon Short, their coach, formerly of Dynasty, may have even suited up for the weekend. So I didn't reach out to Dave to confirm that. But if that's the case, if they've got B Short out there, out of retirement, playing in the semi-pro division, good things are on the horizon for the guys from the Manawatu Titans. So that's an update on them heading over to the US. A couple more events for them to come up later this year. Back here locally, the Super 7s Layout has dropped. I'd love to know what you guys think of this one. My first impression, and I truthfully haven't had a good solid look at this layout as yet because I won't be playing it. I guess I haven't spent as much time looking at it, but it is glaring that 5 of the biggest bunkers on the entire field are 5 of the bunkers closest to the start gate. I feel like there's going to be some double stacking in that brick. The towers will be occupied, and then I guess you either have to decide if you're going to send it for the Snake or Dorito corner, or maybe Dorito 1, maybe Snake 1. There's going to be a lot of people on their feet shooting a lot of people off the break, or shooting a lot of paint off the break. They may not be shooting a lot of people. These big bunkers towards the back of the field make it tough to go deep off the break. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Connor is saying that Brandon Short and Danny from HK did play for them. Brad Short saying looking over the model after the show. And I don't know if Brad has shared the picture of his model lately. If anyone's mates with him on Facebook, you'll be able to see them. Really incredible. He's got like, I don't know if it's Play-Doh. It looks something to the likeness of Play-Doh on a bit of synthetic grass turf made to check out lanes and things for the event, which is really cool. I don't know if he's gone to the effort of using like the string and thumbtacks like you see some people use on those 3D modeled fields, but really cool that he does that. They've shared photos in the past. I really quite like it. Yeah, don't know about the field myself. I don't know, and we won't know, I guess, until I speak to a few AMS teams after the weekend to see how it plays out. But it seems fairly obvious to me, at least, that 4 of the 5 people breaking out in almost every scenario are going to be playing that big brick in the back center and the 2 towers either side of it. That's at least how it appears like it is going to be. Maybe once you walk it in person, that won't be the case, but I imagine that it will be. And on that, I will jump straight from that layout. Lachlan saying looks expensive. I'll jump straight from that layout into talking about the EMS division that is coming up this weekend. So it is confirmed that 7 teams are competing. I had this graphic up earlier when Mike he had 6 teams locked in and a 7th that were yet to be confirmed, but the layout dropped, the draw dropped just a little earlier tonight, maybe an hour or so ago, and there was 7 teams on the draw. So that is happening. Sunday only event this weekend for the EMS division. Bounty Hunters, the round 1 champs, return from South Australia. I think they'll have a bigger challenge this time around, and the brand new bunker set is being used with that layout that I just showed you for this weekend. Let me know if you're playing the event, if you're excited for it, who you think is going to win. I'm not too sure on the newer teams. I haven't seen a whole lot of the newer teams lately, but I guess that's the beauty of the EMS division. Quite often in EMS, wins are traded around between teams as different teams progress at different levels. Craig saying Lachlan looking the goods in that picture. Oh yeah, I should quickly go back to that. Yeah, a photo from Core Photography from the last Super 7s EMS division from Adelaide Bounty Hunters there. And I do have their jersey up in the background again tonight. Also got the Plague jersey. I was speaking with Chris Dickens before the show about the tank vents that are tucked away back here that I've got and that you can get to. if you're looking to pick one up, and thought that I'd throw the Plague shirt up in the background. Chester saying, wish I was able to play the event. And other Berserkers from the Mid-North Coast, are they playing in the EMS division or the semi-pro division? I just think I'd like to see those guys win, and with no disrespect to the other teams, but just the amount of good stuff that I'm hearing coming out of Coffs Harbour in that region, if a team from that area can go down and win, I think that would do good things for the area. So if I was going to support anybody this weekend, it would be those guys, and also the Adelaide Bounty Hunters and Craig and the guys who I've had a little bit to do with over the last couple of weeks. But good luck to everybody. The whole point of EMS is to have fun and to improve, and hopefully that happens this weekend and throughout the rest of the season. The other event happening this weekend is the Thailand Xball League in Pattaya. I honestly cannot say that, and if you have seen the video, I think it was on the Dizon docs years ago, Ronnie Dizon with Tim Montressa saying Pattaya over and over. It's really difficult to just say it normally. If you've seen that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. There is 8 teams in each of Division 1 and Division 2 for this weekend. 3 Australian teams have entered. There is the STK Entourage, PPG Anomaly, as well as Eastside Raw. So the first 2 teams I mentioned playing in Division 2, Eastside Raw playing in Division 1, and I've seen that Elmo has already touched down over there in Thailand. 5 different countries, so obviously Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, and there's a 5th that escapes me at the moment, are represented at the event. That's what I find cool about Asian events, is that because of the close proximity, it's actually closer for a lot of those countries, say a Singapore or a Malaysia, to travel to Thailand than it is for teams from the east coast of Australia to head over and play Perth, for example. And Alex Kitt saying Pattaya is, they say it wrong the whole time. Yeah, well, you just have to watch the video if you're not familiar, but go and check out. And if you're not watching the D's on docs from time to time, you should anyway. It's a limited paint format. There will be some level of webcast for this event. I've seen that the TXBL have been sharing on Facebook that they're looking for support and sponsors to fund that. So that will be coming up this weekend. Also, just ducking back to the Super 7s for one sec. 1-day event for EMS. It is looking like a 2-day event for the semi-pro division, which has 8 or 9 teams for semi-pro coming up in a couple of weeks' time. And then the pro division with 6 teams, it is all but confirmed that if it stays at 6 teams, that will be a 1-day event this time around. They've been dropping back to a 2-day event, but to have referees for 2 days, to have all of the other things associated with running a 2-day event, if they can get through in 1 day, which I was surprised they didn't do at round 1 earlier this year, it looks as though that will be the case. Mo is saying going to be an excellent weekend. The next one is in December if you're keen. Mo, are you heading over with the Eastside Raw guys? I did see them post up their team list earlier in the week, but I honestly didn't read through it. I figured I'd check it out a little bit closer. Oh, and the Philippines is the other country that is represented. So thanks to Alex for the bit of info there. And layout looks fun. Definitely need to get up there again with my injury once my injury heals. Yeah, look, oh man, everyone's dealing with injuries. So yeah, heaps coming up this weekend. Check out the Thailand Xball League over the weekend. If you are sitting around, there will be games running. So Thailand, I believe, is running on Alex is there. He lives there. He can tell me. I think it's nearly 8:30 p.m. here. I think it is 4:30 or 5:30 p.m. in Thailand. I think they're either 3 or 4 hours behind us. So games will start at like 6 a.m. Australian time if you're looking to watch the webcast and run throughout the day and finish a little bit after lunch. And that will be happening on both Saturday and Sunday. Mo is saying, yep, I got them keen after visiting the field last year. Sweet. And yeah, that field does look incredible. If I was to start a new field, I definitely have sketched down a few ideas from how they did it. They essentially just have a giant shed in the center and all of the fields, rec fields and tournament fields dotted around the shed. So there's like a home base and then all of the fields around it. Looks so cool. 5:30-ish. So yeah, 3 hours behind. So if games are starting at like 8 a.m. In Thailand, that will be 5 a.m. here that you can watch the webcast. And if you've got a 6-month-old baby like me, then being up at 5 a.m. is not that unusual. You might be able to watch some paintball first thing on the weekend. And a quick update for Victorian paintballers. The NXL Queensland was last week announced as cancelled for this coming weekend. And the NXL Victoria, which I said was all but cancelled last week, it is confirmed that it is cancelled. But in its place, they are doing a social day of scrims. A full field will be up. Hustle, Order 66, and a couple of other individual players will be out. It's only $20 for field entry. And then you buy your paint. I heard, which is going against the tide here, they're selling paint from $80 a box, which you do not get almost anywhere in Australia at the moment. Lunch included in that. It doesn't matter if you've played a million tournaments or never played one before, you can go out and have some fun. If you're a Victorian paintballer and you're hearing this, watching this at the moment, or hearing this later on Spotify, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment, well, yeah, you can get out this weekend, go play some paintball. I don't know what more can be done to get the wheels turning down there in Victoria again, but someone, probably a field owner, whether that's Matt Kashadi, Danny Cummings, someone, it can't be left to Sarah Birch, it can't be left to the players. Someone has to step up and start getting the players enthusiastic about playing again. COVID is long behind us. I know Victoria was affected more than any other state by that, but we've just got to get people back out to the field. Chester saying, damn Ems, if I would be allowed. Alex saying, jump straight into the beach to clean off after the game. Is it that close? I know that the venue that they used to run events in Pattaya was really, like, it was literally the field, the road, and then the beach. But that was like a temporary venue. Was it like a soccer field or something? I'm not sure where this venue is in relation to the beach, but yeah, if that's the case, man, go and play your games, go chill out by the beach, and it's known for its nightlife. So you've got that option too after it is all said and done. I think I'm pretty much wrapping up here for tonight. Couple of birthday mentions. Tom Scott, birthday today, former breakfast date connoisseur of mine. Justin Knight, later in the week. Elmo, celebrating his birthday this weekend in Thailand. He might get arrested. Best of luck to anyone trying to keep him tame on his birthday in another country. Tate, One Mad, all celebrating birthdays this week too. Best of wishes to you guys. I hope you have an enjoyable birthday. Quick mentions for the prizes. The Push Unite, the April giveaway, the base Push Unite. It's down in the corner of the screen right here. They will be given away next week on the show. Also an update for anyone, the couple of guys, I've reached out to them as well directly, but if they haven't seen my message yet and they're somehow watching the show first, if you won a PB Athlete Dry Fit from February, I mentioned at the time when I gave them away in the middle of March, there was a delay on those. Well, they're in now. And they're ready for shipping, so get your details through to me so I can give it to Connor. I believe he's got 2 of the 4 players sorted, but the others we need to get the information from. John O'Collins will say, we'll try and keep Elmo out of jail. We'll do my best. Like Jono's a good influence, man. They said, yeah, okay. Well, it was nice knowing you fellas. When they make the Hangover 4 or 5, if they revisit Thailand, the Australian version of The Hangover is going to be great. I can't wait to watch it in cinemas sometime soon. Hopefully you come back with all your teeth. What else do I have to mention to wrap up tonight's show? Oh, yeah. Now, I did the last 2 weeks, and tonight included, so this will be the 3rd week, I have been recording the show as I do it live. I've been recording the audio and later uploading it to Spotify. So there is the option for people who can't watch on a Monday night or prefer to listen in the car or whatever. I know it is a visual show. I'm showing field layouts. I'm showing photos. I'm talking about all of those things. So many of you just want to look at my face. But there is an option to listen on Spotify. So when this show ends, which is imminent, I would like you to jump on your phone, go to your Spotify app, which everybody has. And if you can go to Spotify, type in PBHQ Live, you will find me there. You can subscribe to the show there. And if for whatever reason you missed the show one Monday, you can wake up on Tuesday morning. You can drive to work, catch the train to work, whatever the case might be, and you can listen back to the show. The first week I did it, it had a grand total of 6 listens, and last week it had 2. So we're not breaking any records over on Spotify at the moment, but the option is there. It really only takes me a second to record it. So if you want to listen, you do have the option. And I have been thinking of doing interviews with players separate to PBHQ Live. And if Mo is still in the chat, he might be a great person to talk to with all of his international travels. Maybe we could catch up in the next couple of weeks and talk about the Thailand Xball League, or if Elmo gets his one phone call from the jail cell over there in Thailand, he can maybe put out a distress call to the Prime Minister or something and see if we can't get him out of there. So thanks for checking out tonight's episode of PBHQ, guys. If you can hit the like button or subscribe button here on YouTube too, I would appreciate that. But most importantly, just make sure you join me again next week. I will talk all about the Thailand Xball League, results from the Super 7s, and other upcoming events which you've probably seen scrolling along here throughout the show. Until then, have a good week. Bye.